Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here.
Stanley, are you texting? Mommy.
Dialing mother.
Hello?
One of the biggest challenges that Hollywood has always had is making a good film adaptation. You are trying to please the overall movie-going public, but you're also trying to please the fans of the source material. And since the inception of film, that is what Hollywood has based a good chunk of its money on. Basing it on books, basing it on a television show that is live action, one that's based on a cartoon, one that's based on an old movie to make it better. And heck, there's even been a successful film based on a board game. But if there is one thing that Hollywood has failed at numerous times, it is trying to make that perfect film adaptation based on a video game. And I know that that is a solid fact because I have sat through some of the worst movies in history, and a good chunk of them have been based on video games. Super Mario Brothers, Tomb Raider, Street Fighter, Double Dragon. Ugh, your childhood is ripped away from you because of the fact that you see these wonderful stories and characters that you remember mashing the buttons of on your game controller just to beat those levels, only to see it completely sabotaged and leave you traumatized because they just couldn't do it right. And you wonder why there is no Legend of Zelda movie anywhere in the near future. I think maybe the most successful movie based on a video game is the original Mortal Kombat. Not great at all. But this year is a very interesting year for video game-based films because we have 5 of them. One of them is not exactly an actual video game, but it is based on a video game style format, and that was Hardcore Henry. I didn't see that movie, but there are a barrage of reviews on YouTube that you can watch if you're still interested in seeing that movie based on first-person shooters. But this year, we have Angry Birds, Warcraft, Assassin's Creed, and this one, Ratchet Clank, based on the popular PlayStation video game. Now, I went into this movie not knowing anything about the video game except for its existence and how it reminds me of a whole bunch of other video games that I have played, like Sonic the Hedgehog and Donkey Kong Country. That simple concept of a buddy duo fighting the forces of evil. And I have to say, this movie was not half bad. It was not great, but it was definitely a lot of fun. I give the director Kevin Monroe props for allowing the original voices of the characters in the video game to actually lend their voices to the characters in the film, especially one of the best voice actors in the business, James Arnold Taylor, and all the other characters that they featured in this movie had some great voices as well, including Rosario Dawson, Paul Giamatti, as well as Sylvester Stallone of all people. It is definitely a cute, fun movie that kids are going to absolutely love. There's enough comedy in there that the parents are actually going to find humorous as well. I actually found myself laughing a lot while I was watching this movie because there were some fantastic, sophisticated jokes in there that I did not see coming. And there's plenty of slapstick and goofy comedy, almost Saturday morning cartoonish-like. And because of the fact that I loved my Saturday morning cartoons growing up, this was definitely a little bit of a nostalgic feel. Now, please put your comments in the box below to let me know if they really did get the plot correct based on the video games, because one of the few things I do know about besides the characters is the weapons that were featured in this movie, because they are used in the game as well, especially one that I remember from the commercials, the Sheepinator. So I was kind of glad to actually see it in there as well. I guess the one falter that this film really has is that the story is really nothing special. It has so much of those cliche moments that you see in a lot of animated films, especially when it comes to a movie like Ratchet & Clank. You know, I would expect it to have a lot of video game elements in it, which it did, but, you know, it's kind of hard to really make something absolutely flashy when it comes on the source material that you're working with. And most video game-based films, when they try to think outside the box and use something flashy and new, and believe me, it's been disastrous ever since. So I feel that Ratchet & Clank really kept it safe. I will say one thing for a video game-based movie, I think they've got a good thing going here. I think maybe animation is the way to go in terms of making these good movies based on video games. This movie is definitely something that I would watch again, but it's not a movie that I could see myself watching millions and millions of times. It's definitely one of those movies that if you're having a bad day and you just want to be cheered up by some great action, some great comedy, and a cute little story just to put a smile on your face, Ratchet & Clank is definitely one of those Saturday afternoon adventures that you will truly want to watch. I don't plan to buy this movie on DVD, but am I glad that I saw it? Yes, I am. So I will definitely say, if you want to bring your kids to a movie that you think they're going to enjoy, if they haven't seen The Jungle Book yet, please take them there first, but Ratchet & Clank is definitely 90 minutes keeping them busy. And also, if you are nostalgic, if you're a fan of the video game, I guess you could like it too. So maybe we are going in the right direction in terms of good film video game-based adaptations. Ratchet & Clank is going to get 2.5 out of 4 from me. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I appreciate the fact that you came today. Please put your comments in the box below, and let's have a discussion about Ratchet & Clank. And I'll see you in the next one. Actions speak louder than words.